guys, welcome to my channel. Can you believe it? I am back with another video. It hasn't been like 3 months or like 3 years. So I feel like I'm being a bit more consistent. Let's talk about resting. I just felt like I needed to make this video. I keep on seeing these whole things of how to level up and I just get so tired. Like, I feel like I get so exhausted looking at how to be like a boss babe, how to level up.
Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
For me personally, I am someone who did not rest at all. Resting is such an important part of life and also of working. You actually could get more work done if you rest than if you don't rest. Anyway, is it just me or does anyone else see the correlation between a lot of people being stressed, depressed and not resting? Please let it not just me. Like, it's not just me. I like to observe and see what's going on, and I can really see like this correlation between a lot of people getting anxious and stressed, and I feel like part of it can be down to the fact that we're not resting. For some people, a lot of the stress comes from what they think they should be doing or what they need to be doing. So even when you're not doing anything, your stress is coming because you feel like, oh, I need to be doing this. So you can't really rest properly. You can't really switch off because you're just like, oh, I need to be doing this. Life is passing me by. Like, I need to be better. And then if you are stressed, you're just stressed from taking on so many different things. And for me personally, I feel like this is just something that obviously comes from living in a capitalist society where your worth is in what you produce. So we basically have to have it ingrained enough that we need to be producing, or if we're not producing, being like thinking about, oh, what we need to be producing. If anything, it's like we're human doings, not human beings. I feel like there's two things, there's human and beings, and I feel like rest is part of the beings, just being. And I feel like there's an obsession with getting better and not being content. A lot of our stress also comes from the fact of this whole idea of that we need to be better, and the whole idea of needing to be better also puts your mind in the future. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this correlation, but it's like with the future, when you're always focused on the future comes anxiety. When you're focused on the past comes regret, resentment. Like, these two spaces in which like concepts can put us in can actually just create more stress and anxiety and worry and stuff like that. I'm saying all of this to say that I feel like as a society we are obsessed with getting better, whether that be having a better job, living a better life, being better, whatever goals we feel like we want to have, getting better in terms of our relationships, even when it comes to our inner work, getting better with that. Like, there's just such an obsession with getting better, and I feel like this obsession with getting better does not allow us to really actually be content, because you're always thinking of what you can do to improve yourself. It's a constant obsession and addiction to self-improvement. Another thing I wanted to say is this whole idea of being better, again, just reinforces this whole idea that you are not enough. Again, like, as a capitalist society, it's based on you are not enough. In order to be enough, we have to do certain things, and the things is never ending. There's never an enough. That's the thing with being enough, there is never enough. When people look at enough and what it means to be the best, they look at what society tells them to be the best, which is money, amazing relationships, influence, whatever your thing is. So when you're thinking about better, are you telling yourself that you are not enough? When you're saying you need to be better, are you also saying to yourself you are not enough? Because actually the true message that you're telling yourself is you are not enough, not that I need to get better. It's with better, there's always more, there's never no fulfillment, there's never no completion. So I don't even know if like better is the right word. Maybe better, we need to start changing the connotations of better or the way that better is. But I just feel like this whole improvement, are we telling ourselves we are not enough already? I feel like there's two things that kind of keep us in this mentality of being better. I feel like there's some people that feel like if I'm content with my life, or if I'm not better, my life is going to be awful because I'll just be a bum or I'll just do negative things. And then there's another one where it's like, I want to be better in order to achieve my potential. I wonder how it would be different as well if you do things from a place of you are enough. I personally feel like we have to kind of start on working on the whole idea of being content with everything that we have before we then start to be like, I need to get better, I need to get better, I need to get better. Because I feel like part of what can cause, part of the issue or your problem could be this obsession with getting better. And actually what makes you, if we are going to use the word better, is actually just being content with who you are and everything you have. And that's not to say that you're not ambitious or anything like that, but I feel like there has to be a starting point with yourself and just that contentment and just being grateful for everything that you have and focusing on the fact that just as you are, everything is okay, and then start from that point. And I know that sounds really contradictory, that sounds almost like a paradox, like if you feel like you're a really bad person or you feel like you're doing really harmful things to yourself, and then you're just like, as I am perfect. But actually, if you look more into it, the reasons maybe why you are doing these harmful things to yourself is because you do not think you are, and you're trying to fill a void. Now, maybe the word perfect might not be the best word to use for some people, but it is that whole idea of contentment with who you are. Because what happens if the fact that actually all these issues and all these things that are going on in your life and everything that is going on, it just comes from not actually being content. And once you have that, everything will fall into place. Because a lot of the times, the people who want to be better and are always striving for self-improvement, they also lack contentment, and they'll always be chasing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And really and truly, I feel like what happens is that person looks successful. I feel like people who are striving to be better, striving for the self-improvement, their validation comes from other people. And as a result of that, they're always chasing the validation of other people, and they're always so they will have that praise and they'll have that admiration. Everyone will be talking about them, but them themselves, they'll be suffering inside. So a lot of the times when you feel like you see these people that achieve what you believe to be great things, or what are great things in the eyes of society currently, a lot of people can be extremely unhappy because, again, there isn't that contentment within themselves. And I feel like the greatest thing for me personally that someone can do is just to understand and discover how great they are as a human being, and everything else that they start to do is extra. One of the things that I'm wanting to do and think we need to start doing is just affirming each other, like our friendship circles, our family, and not for what they're doing, but just who they are. Do you get what I mean? Like, they don't have to do anything, just who they are is amazing and is everything. Do you know what I mean? When was the last time you said to a friend, a family, that they're amazing? Whatever word you want to use that affirms them just because of who they are as a human being and not anything that they've done. And that's not to invalidate what we can do as human beings. That's great as well. What I think would be good for us is if we just start to look and see the greatness in being and see what opens up. Do you get what I mean? So one of like the 3 rights that I wrote on Instagram was, rest is my form of protest. In rest there is no bag to secure because there is no insecure. Rest is your way to heal. Like, there's a reason why we spend time sleeping. It's just the natural order to things. If you choose to rest, it does not mean that you are now a bum, you're not doing anything in life. Like I said in that 3 right, I think rest is a form of protest. I surrender to my body because, like, I've realized that my body, if I do not listen to my body will literally be screaming at me and telling me to listen to it. And then a lot of the stress comes from me not listening to what my body wants to do. But it also, again, puts the focus back on myself and not other people. And I'm not living for other people, but I'm nourishing myself. And that's what rest is. It is a form of self-care. And it's not a thing where you go on vacation for a week and then come back and do the same thing. Like, for me, rest is also something that is depend on the person. So for example, I find rest when I'm in my faith. I think rest is something that's individual to you, and only you know what that rest is. Rest is that time where you are able to switch off. And I think if you are finding that you are stopping and resting but still not being able to switch off, it's something that you can explore yourself about what's going on there. And definitely with me, like I said, I felt like I understood that I put my worth in what I produced, so that was what was going on. Everything was coming from producing things. Rest is also putting yourself in the present moment, which everyone is talking about. Everyone talks about being in the present moment, but actually, like, when it comes to living it, it's a different story. I just think rest is something that I have found to be really helpful when it comes to just nourishing myself, nurturing myself. And also it is a protest, and it's a protest that I am doing things for myself and not for other people, and I don't care what that looks like. One of the things that has helped for me is to practice contentment and to actually maybe just stop. Like, so I'm just gonna come talk to you from my perspective, because like I was someone who was just doing, and I am like going through that journey of like how I can rest more and not be anxious if I am resting, like, oh, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. And so what I had to do was just stop and just be like, okay, everything I'm doing, I need to stop it. And it's crazy how I've been attached to what I've been doing, because the whole idea of stopping what I'm doing, it's almost like this fear of, oh, I'm not going to get to where I need to be. When it came to lockdown last year, that's when I started to rest, and it's crazy how much more creative I became because of that, how many more ideas I had, and how, even though it's really contradictory, how productive I became with regards to my creativity. I was just creating freely. Things were just, and when I'm saying productive, I don't want to use the word productive, I want to say I was just producing things. And I think it's really great to produce things from a place of rest as well. I'm not saying that means that you don't have to work, or you don't have to work on your dreams or your goals or what you want to achieve in life. I think that's beautiful, but it's more so what space something comes from, and you truly know the space that something is coming from, and who are you doing it for as well, because I feel like you're always going to be exhausted if you're doing things for the eyes of other people, and you'll nourish yourself when you're doing things for yourself. So it's also like, what space is it coming from? And I think that can help with rest. If you're doing things from a space of enjoyment, of joy and stuff like that for your own improvement, that can help. Because the thing is, we're always about plans and goals, and these are other things that we have kind of invented, and it's great, like I said, it's great to have plans or goals, but and be structured in something, but as we all know, life can come and just mess that up. So there's also something about going with the flow. Like, how about trying for a month to just go with the flow and see what happens? Like, what opens up? Do you know what I mean? Is it the things that you've planned? And if not, why don't just go with it and see what happens? It's that gratitude, it's that resting, it's that protesting. Rest is restoration. I know people will be telling you to level up, sis, and please, like I said, I'm not here to even tell anyone what to do. I'm just here to share my experience. That is what I've personally found. I feel like people are always going to talk, and the best thing you can do is do things for yourself. It's your life at the end of the day. And sometimes what we want in our fantasies, when it comes to the reality of the situation, it's not necessarily as good as what we think it can be. So being content with everything that we have at least guarantees us that fulfillment in whatever space that we go into. And that's what we want to be in, because sometimes if you get to the space that you're in and you're super insecure, all it's going to do is just shine a light on that insecurity, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to say that as well. Basically, you need to rest, y'all. Yeah, I've come to the end of my video. I hope you liked it, and if you made it to the end, thank you so much. Until next time, bye.